The pirates. Mari? She asks as she walks into the docking back. The boys had been out for some mischief while everyone was busy, and now an old friend was being held at gunpoint. Agenda. My gracious, what are you? Mari begins. You know each other? Her Miles asks, and Agenda huffs as she bounds up to them and stands upright. There's another prisoner they have, a Drin in a rather fetching pink striped coat. Oh my goodness, are you pregnant? You smell pregnant. Who's the father? Is it one of these men? Mari asks, bouncing in her overly skimpy outfit. I am. Now what's going on? How do you two know each other? Miles says as he undoes Mary's cuffs to let her rush forward and embrace Agenda. This she-beast of a wolf and I used to run together before I got out of the business. Mari exclaims with glee as she and Agenda hold onto each other's shoulders and smile. Agenda? Miles asks and draws her attention. How do you know Madame Horny, one of the two most infamous pimps on the planet? Pimp? What have you been up to? Agenda demands. Thank you, Miles says. It was the only way to protect them. The only way to keep things from getting worse for the poor dears, Mari explains, and Agenda pulls her in for a comforting hug. Some details, please. Are you or are you not an abusive pimp? Miles demands, and Agenda holds her out and examines her. Mari, what's going on? She asks. I may have used my reputation to protect my sons, Mari says with a shrug and a coy smile. And the pimp bit, Miles presses. It's natural that men would want to be married or father children, but if they were known to be on the market, then someone would hurt them. So I feign them being for sale and get to screen their brides. Keep the wicked away, Mari explains, and Miles has his eyes scrunched up and is pinching the bridge of his nose. Okay, that's it, I'm calling bullshit. Frank, front and center, we need a scan, Miles remarks before calling across the docking bay. The Axiom adept walks up and ignores Agenda's slight glare. She's been claiming, I heard, their voices carry and I have oversensitive ears, Franklin says as he looks from one to the other. Excuse me, ladies, he says, reaching up for Mari's head, but is stopped by Agenda grabbing his wrist. What are you doing? Agenda demands. Seeing if she's lying to us. People change captain. She might have been sweetness and sunshine when you knew her last, but... Franklin's explanation is cut off by the two women bursting into laughter. He then grabs the side of Mari's head with his left hand and the Carib woman goes still along with him. Hey! Agenda protests and Miles raises an eyebrow. If she's being honest, then he won't hurt her, but this is a potential hostage rescue situation. We don't have time to play 20 questions. Apparently we do. This woman is smitten with the boys under her command. Stark opposite of Big Mama, really. On the night they were kidnapped, she cut ties with her old gang and ran with the kids. Franklin says, pulling his hand back. Sorry about that, but we had to be sure. He apologizes to Mari, who just blinks in confusion. Oh, what just happened? My mind feels scrambled. My thoughts went to my boys, Mari whispers before shaking her head to refocus herself. I did a basic scan of your boys and what you think about them, important memories and such. I saw the rescue. I saw your maternal instincts hit you hard enough for you to betray your old gang and run with them. I saw you cross 6 different worlds to keep them safe. I saw you seeing them married, and the children they've had slamming that maternal instinct twice as hard. So she's telling the truth, Miles asks, and Franklin nods. All right then, Madame Marie Horny, you have my apologies for the unpleasantness of our meeting. My associates and I are part of Captain Lilpaw's crew. They have a habit of leaving us with little to do, so we've taken it upon ourselves for a little urban renewal on a planetary scale. Basically, our girls are in the process of conquering Vuxa, and we want to make it a place worth ruling over. It has 2 parts, fixing things and breaking things. Going after the 2 most infamous pimps on the planet was part of the breaking plan. Your reputation got you caught up in our little trap. That's wonderful, but What can you do? You're just... not to be rude, but what do you actually know about these kinds of things? She asks, and he chuckles. Enough, don't you worry. We're more than just pretty faces, Franklin assures her before Miles can. Incidentally, I did a scan of Big Mama too. Would you be willing to help out with her stable? They need the kind of support and care that no one on the ship really has time or the aptitude for. What are you doing, Franklin? Miles asks. She's seen each of her adopted sons happily married off and keeps protecting them still with her nasty reputation, and is actively looking to protect more. That's what she was planning with Ryu, get him off the street and into safety. Franklin explains to Miles, whose eyebrows go up. Are you willing to do so again, ma'am? We've got 30 young men being held hostage against the women that have bonded with them. 30? Marie and Agenda demand in shock. 32, actually. But that would be, Miles asks, doing the math. A full tenth of all men in the city. Yes, Franklin says. She considers it a point of pride that 1 in every 10 girls pays her. God damn, Miles mutters. Do you have the locations? Yes, but we'll need more than just the truck, Franklin says. I'll get some girls down. Franklin, give the locations. Marie, are you willing to help them? I'm willing to give you a wing of the manor to keeping them all safe, Agenda says, and Miles gives her a weird look. So little Johnny wasn't the one off you tried to play him off as? Miles asks with a grin. Little Johnny? Mari asks. Oh, just go already, rescue those poor boys, Agenda tells him. All right, we'll be taking that massive transport in Docking Bay 56 then. We need to bring all of them along at once, Miles says before stepping back. I'll let you two get reacquainted. Boys, we're heading out for some rescue. Docking Bay 56, hustle, hustle, hustle. He shouts, and there's a flurry of movement from the boys who rush out as one. Hey, Jin babe, you got time to take a prisoner for me? I've been stomping on some local troublemakers to help stabilize things. She's in Docking Bay 73, Jake asks on his communicator and smiles at the answer. Oh, me. Just heading out with the guys to finish up some of it so we can get started on making this world a better one. Don't you worry, I'll be fine. Aw, is the big man in love? Beck teases him and dodges an offhanded swing. Huh. Oh, nothing. Just a little shit who's gonna get what's coming to him, he says. And on the other end, Jin can be heard laughing. Anyways, we're off to rescue some poor abused boys. Wish me luck. He chimes into the phone, and after the good luck, he hangs up and puts on some speed to chase Beck down as everyone heads towards the docking bay with the remodeled Airbus. All right, everyone, hang on. I've not flown something this big before. Sai remarks as he shoves the key into the ignition and the vehicle rises off the ground. Hang on to something, Beck shouts to the rest. Hang on to something. Jake echoes back in a seemingly panicked tone. Sai slowly turns to look back with a level glare. Oh, grow a sense humor, will ya? Beck chides him, and he slowly turns back before the transport rises out of the docking bay, and Sai waits for the IFF on the defenses to indicate he's clear to move before blasting out over Mainport. Franklin guides him to an apartment complex that looks half-rotted with a weed-choked yard and all sorts of strange banners and graffiti on it. You're kidding, Sai remarks as he sees the building. Nope. She uses it as a cover. Most never even see the building itself. There's an old tunnel that leads to that car park just over there. That's where she meets her customers. They think it's neutral ground away from her numerous safe houses. When the whole time you just need a half-decent throwing arm to hit where she's housing her boys. Clever, Miles remarks. What about entrances? Ground entrances are all blocked up. The first floor is inaccessible. Second to sixth are in good repair. So solid, in fact, that you could knock away the rest of the building and despite looking naked, the rest of it would be fine structurally. So where do I park the bus and how do we get in? Sai asks, and Franklin points to the car park. Secret passage? Well, not really. There's an elevator with a stuck button. Twist it to unstuck it and press it back in before twisting it back to send it down. Franklin explains and Cy gives him a look. What? Then why didn't you point me to the car park? So that you actually understand things. I'm not keeping you in ignorance, I'm explaining it all. You know what? Forget it. Just go to the freaking car park. Franklin gripes, and less than a minute later he's leading them all out with his hands in his pockets. The hell crawled up his ass and died? Beck asks Miles as they follow him down into the building. Did you read the folder he contributed? Skimmed it. The nearest witch is in a small town some 100 kilometers northish of here. She's the cutting one, and it's not so much mass gave as pit of hacked-off parts. The notes in the margins? Miles asks, and Beck shrugs. Well, he confesses to having some nightmares about what they've been up to. I talked to him, and he's told me that he hasn't had a good night's sleep in about 4 days. He's been given some medicine to start taking tonight, but he's going to be in a shit mood till then. Ah, that makes sense, Beck remarks. Franklin leads them all to an elevator that comes fairly quickly when called. I'll stay with the bus, Cy says, refusing to get in. And I'm not crowding in there, Jake says as he and Victor also stay outside of it. Our weapons won't be much good so tightly packed in inside that place, Victor says. We'll set up a kill box just in case. Jake adds, and both men nod. Yeah, good thinking, you two, Miles says as Franklin fiddles with the button to unstick, then re-stick it. The doors close, and they go down and down to a hallway with a camera pointing right at them. Don't worry about the camera. It reads your general profile, and unfamiliar women are shot, but we're men, registered as harmless, Franklin explains as he leads the way out of it. How's it work? Jean-Luc asks, somewhat curiously. It matches you up with a silhouette. The only female one allowed is of a drin in a big fluffy coat. Male ones are allowed in without an issue. No. How do I set one up myself? An automatic turret sounds like a fun toy, Jean-Luc clarifies. She's still got the owner's manual in her little office. Franklin responds, and Jean-Luc grins. How much did you get from her? Miles asks, and Franklin turns to give him a vicious smile. That much? He asks, and there's a nod. He leads them up a stairwell, and after 3 flights he knocks on a door in a hallway. A young, thin man opens the door. He's wearing an open button-up shirt and yoga pants only. Fear and trepidation gives way to wary confusion. Holy shit, so that's a Tret man? He's just some guy, Beck asks in surprise. He's utterly axiom-dependent, has no stomach for spice and nothing in the way of adrenaline, Miles remarks. Franklin, go ransack Big Mama's stashes and office. I'll deal with this. Ryu, Jean-Luc, go with him. No, Mama, she took me from a hospital when I was newborn. What does rescuing me mean? Well, that was both an answer and a question and a half, good Lord. We're getting you and all the others out of here, and someplace where you can be safe before heading out to go where you want to go and do what you want. What I want? What do I want? Grigoro asks himself in a haunted tone. I want out of here, yes. My brothers too. Will you help us? That's why we're here, Miles says with a gentle smile.